I'd first like to get your thoughts on the federal charges in Ahmaud Arbery's death and the verdict in the Derek Chauvin trial. They're overdue, certainly, but would you say that there are steps in the right direction?
I mean, I think this is part of the problem where we start to celebrate things which should just be obvious, right? I mean, you have video evidence of Derek Chauvin murdering George Floyd, and we also have video evidence of what was essentially a lynching. So we should just expect this should be the norm. And that's how low the bar is set, that we actually think this is progress. I mean, that tells you the whole problem. And that goes back to what Joe Biden was saying. The idea you could just legislate out racism in America in one session just shows you we're not really taking this seriously at all at the present.
Right. But in the meantime, something needs to be done. And the Biden administration is working towards that. Your book examines the history of the transatlantic slave trade and European colonialism. So it goes way back to the roots of what we're talking about. Your thesis is really the subtitle here, that racism and colonialism still rule the world today. So within that framework, how would someone like the current U.S. president, who's urging a national coming together to rebuild trust, to reform these institutions, how would someone like that convince you that incremental progress, working within the system, is a worthwhile pursuit?
Well, I think this is the problem, though. The way it's framed as incremental progress, working within the system. I mean, you have to understand America is a racist project. I mean, from its very beginnings, what it essentially is Europe on steroids, a place where European colonialists go and create a system built on white supremacy, which explains why there's so much violence, why the police carry guns, why we're seeing this play out today. And so if it was genuinely serious to say, well, actually, this isn't about trust. I mean, it's not that Black people don't trust the system that's a problem. The problem is the system. And it's about much more than trying to cross hands across the aisles. It's about saying, let's think about defunding the police. Let's think about decarceration. We have to take these much more transformative steps, because baby steps are not in the right direction. They just, in some ways, make it worse.
Transformative steps without legislation, though, where does that lead us? Because then you open up Pandora's box.
Well, Pandora's box is exactly what needs to be opened up, right? I mean, the actual system is the problem. And think about the electoral system in the United States, the fact that Trump got in on the Electoral College, which was a compromise for slave owning states, right? The South. So, I mean, I think this is the whole system. The idea you could fix racism within the system of America, which is based on racism, is the entire problem. And what we should be saying is it's not about legislation, it's about transformation.
Hey, thanks for watching. For more stories like this, be sure to stream Bloomberg Quicktake 24/7 for free at any of the places down below. Get live coverage, interviews, documentaries, deep dives, and so much more on the stories that you care most about. And don't forget to hit the follow or subscribe button on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Hey, thanks for watching Bloomberg Quicktake Now. Subscribe to our channel to see the biggest stories the moment they happen from around the world. And tune in to our 24/7 live stream for global news coverage, documentaries, interviews, deep dives, and shows on the stories that you care most about.